taste what you use. Some people don't use either. Most people use wrist wraps. I find a belt, especially the SBD belt that I use, is so rigid and so thick that I can't quite get the same arch with it on for bench. That looked a little bit difficult for a second attempt for me. He's got it's a good lift, but I wonder how much more he's got.
With 125 kilos. Lee Gray and Ragul to follow Mike Rose.
Mike Rose is our next lifter on the platform. He's coming out for the same weight, 125 kilos. And that's 2 to 1, a good lift for Mike.
130 kilos next weight on the bar for Lee Gray.
Okay, we've got Lee Gray next in the 74s.
Very quick administration note. Yes, the stream has just gone down for, I think, about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes there. We're very, very sorry about that. Our commentary position is a long way from the stage. It's a little difficult for us to see what's going on. It's just the configuration of the venue. Nothing anyone can do about that without bursting down a wall. We don't want to break down any walls. The issue was that we decided to run a live camera feed so that we could see what was going on, but that was introducing traffic to the network, and at a certain point, unfortunately, that excess traffic has taken us down. We're very, very sorry for that. We've now stopped that, and so fingers crossed we are smooth sailing from this point onwards, but again, we're very sorry about that. Obviously, the venues are the venues, and that's it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Lee Gray is going to get this one.
Fight, no. I was just too heavy, I think. I don't think he made any specific mistakes. It was just the weight was a bit much.
It's just a good time as any to thank Joe Wiley, who has been doing incredible work commentating today, and now is
my pleasure.
And is now going to have to do a little bit harder work because she can't see the camera feed. So we do apologise to Joe for that inconvenience, and also again for the stream dropping down. We know it's frustrating. We do apologise for that. Obviously, we jump into venues as we go, and that's that's sometimes the nature of the beast, that you don't quite get what you would like if you were in a pristine, perfect studio. Anyway, we're back up now. Fingers crossed we've isolated what was doing the damage, and we'll move forward from there. I'm going to go and run a few more tests to leave you in the very capable hands of Joe Wiley. Thanks again, everybody, for the patience. Okay,
we have Ragul Parthipan there, and he's done a very steady 135.
135 remains on the bar for William Reardon.
Now, I'll do my best to bring you information about the lifters' categories and what they're lifting, but I'm limited in what I can see at this point. I'll do my best to squint at the score sheet, but there's quite a lot of information up there, and I can't really make a lot of it out. So, this is William Reid. He's a junior 74. I'm going to prepare myself a little bit of ammunition and throw it at people who stand in my view of the stage. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, but he kept under it and drove it home. I would expect him to only go up a very small amount after that. He's shaking his head ruefully as he leaves the platform.
140 next weight on the bar for Daniel Thomas.
So, Danny Thomas next. 140 kilos. He's in the open 66 kilo class.
140 kilos, Daniel Thomas.
Daniel is wearing the coveted GBR singlet. That means he's represented his country in international competition. Relatively narrow grip there. In fact, not narrow so much as his kind of wrists are bent inwards. It's quite an unusual position to bench from, but very successful for him. That was no problem.
150 kilos,
We've gone up to 150 for Chris Simmons. Chris is in the open 74s.
Bar is loaded.
It's a good opportunity to thank our hosts here at Ouseport School and also Champion Strength, who've put the competition on for us. Both Andy Champ and Faye Jordan have been on the platform most of the day, as well as running the competition. And that's Andy Champ handing out Chris Simmons' bench right there. Oh, bit of a struggle, bit of a struggle.
3 white lights and a good lift for Krista Simmons. 157.5
Okay, just a couple more benches in the second attempts for this group. We've got Emmanuel Franklin of Great London Division.
Bar loaded. 157.5 kilos, Emmanuel Franklin.
Here's Emmanuel. He's got 157 kilos on the bar. Brings his chest up to the bar. It's a strong position. Oh, he fought it to a standstill, but it just wouldn't go. I don't think that was any particular mistake he made. I think it may just be right on the limit of what he can press. But he has another go at that. So here's Danny Potter, Berry Barbell.
Bar is loaded. 157.5 kilos, Danny Potter.
Danny lifted at the World Classic Bench last year and the Euro Classic Bench. No, he was shaking his head there. I don't know. I think he just got that wrong on the descent.
So that is no lift at 157.5 kilos. Round 3, Group A. First weight on the bar. 77.5 kilos. Ted Brown.
Okay, we're back up to the top. These are the third attempts for the enormous Group A. So we've got the M4 59 kilo lifter Ted Brown. He's coming out for 77.5.
Bar is loaded.
So out comes Ted Brown, and again I'm back, ladies and gents. Again, sorry again for the outage earlier. We do think we've cracked down what that probably was, which was us adding the extra camera scene so everybody could see in the commentary team. Obviously the venue puts us a little bit far away from the booth. I am now stood up holding the microphone in my hand, so to give me a little bit more extra space to see. I can see that Ted Brown is setting up for this. Let's see how he gets on.
The real reason George is stood up is so he can kick people who get between us and the stage.
Hey, whatever works. Brute force and ignorance for the win. So here comes Ted Brown, bar down to the chest, and
oh, it's a struggle, it's a fight, but that's a very well judged third attempt.
That was a fabulous
well done,
fight,
Ted.
wasn't it? That was good, lad.
And a good lift. And if you can do that when you're 88 years old, I'll give you a prize.
So
see, I thought he was older than that. The MC has just said he's 88 years old.
That is incredible. 88 years old.
Yeah.
And still knocking that out. That's absolutely fabulous. And it's a sport with a lot of longevity. Realistically, if you look after your body and you treat yourself right, you can be doing powerlifting for many, many years to come. Malcolm Bainbridge, 82.5 kilos. He's a Masters 4 male. I don't know what age Masters 4 are, Joe, do you?
Masters 4 is, I would have said 70 to 79, but I think what we're seeing is that there is no Masters 5 category. So it's 70 plus. Oh no, that's didn't quite have that today.
Unfortunately for Malcolm, but the loaders kept him safe. That is the main thing. That leaves him with a best of 77.5 kilos. Next weight on the bar is 87.5 kilos.
We have the M3 74 kilo lifter Kevin Payne coming out now for 87.5. That's a nice positive descent, and oh, I thought that was going. He had good speed off the chest, but it just ground to a halt halfway down. Halfway up, I'm sorry.
87.5, 97.5 goes on the bar now for Michael John James. David Pelton.
Platform crew are really doing a great job up there.
Yeah, it's worth saying a big shout out to Andy and Champ and all this team here today. You know, they've done fabulous work. So, yeah, great work Andy Champ is doing here today. It's been a fantastically run competition. It's all going well. Michael John James, 97.5 kilos down to his chest. It's a little bit heavy on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's a good attempt, but just a bit too heavy. David Pelton out, M466.
David Russell and Joseph Strike.
And everything he's done today has been a British record, so this is no different.
Can't be bad to go home and say that, can it? Let's be honest.
David Pelter.
David Pelter, 100 kilos. Masters 4 male. Let's see how he gets on. Gets himself set. Out it comes. Andy steps back. Let's see how he gets on. Come down to the chest. Got it done. It's all good.
3 white lights and a good lift at 100 kilos for David Pelter. 105, next weight on the bar. David Russell. Joseph Strike and Ifty Hussain to follow.
David Russell, Masters 3 male, 105 kilos.
Bar loaded, 105 kilos, David Russell.
So let's see how he gets on with this 105 kilos. That is well of a double body weight, I believe, unless I've done my maths wrong, and there's always a chance I've done my maths wrong, but let's hope not. David Russell, 105 kilos. Getting the hand out now. He's shaky a bit in his left arm, but he's got the start, which is all he needs at that juncture. That's not going. Nope. It reached a point and then it sort of crabbed back towards his face, and sadly if that happens, and there's not a lot you're going to be able to do. Joseph Strike, 107.5 kilos. Joseph Strike, 175 kilos. He's a junior male. Out he comes. Big shout out to everyone watching on the stream. Apologies again for the slight outages earlier. I won't explain why. Something to do with us trying to be overly helpful and adding in more video streams to help the commentators than we could handle. Anyway, Joseph Strike brings it down to his chest, and he started very fast. As long as he got the command, he's all good. That was a tremendous war. Let's see if he's got anything he has. Got 3 white lights. Can't argue with that. Ifty Hussain, 110 kilos.
Okay, just doing a little bit more spreadsheet wrangling there. We are good to go. We have got Ifty Hussain coming up next. He's a junior 66. He has not. He's not managed to get a lift in so far. He's just racked it every time he's done a successful lift, and he's racked it before the command.
Oh, that's a real shame when that happens.
It is, because he's thrown away a successful lift and the bar dipped. He's not going to press it this time.
That's unfortunate.
What a shame. I think that's our first bomb of the day.
Well, it's not bad from that many lifters, only the one bomb, and he'll come back stronger.
I really feel for the lad, because he pressed it so strongly both times, and just in triumph flung it back into the rack and threw away.
That's such a shame, because also it comes from a place of success, doesn't it? You've got the good lift, you're so used to it in the gym. The minute you've got it up there, you chuck it backwards. And it's the most natural reaction in the world, but.
Okay, we've got Afzal Ali, junior 66s.
Okay, looking for the handout from Andy Champ. We're on a fantastic competition today, him and his team, Andy. Absolutely brilliant always round. Gets the handout. Gets set. It's down the chest, it's off the chest, it's tremendously strong. I don't think there's many more kilos, but has he got those ones?
3 white lights and
he's got 3 whites, can't argue.
112.5 kilos for Afzal Ali.
And again, we must thank Jo Wiley, because we're now both stood up, because we're not going to stop people walking there, are we?
I think you see the stand up so I can see the stage, or lamp the next person that stands in my way. So I think this is the better option, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a time and a place for casual violence, but it's not right now.
Okay, Diptako Chowdhury is up next. He's a junior 66.
115 kilos on the bar for Diptako Chowdhury. James Leaper and Roger Hamilton-Smith next to lifters.
Diptako, 115 kilograms. He's a junior male. Out he comes.
So I'm hoping that if you're watching on the YouTube, you can also follow the live score sheet. You'll probably be able to follow the competition a little bit better than I can at this point. My eyes aren't quite good enough to pick out what's going on the big score sheet up on the wall.
Down it goes to the chest, and good. Oh, it's a tremendous fight. I don't think
he's battling it. It's a brave battle.
Unfortunately not.
But not today. I think he was so close to that.
Tremendous fight, wasn't it? It was absolutely tremendous fight.
Remains on the bar for James Leaper. Roger Hamilton Smith and Chris Eaton to follow.
James Leaper, I think he is in the lead. I think he has already won the junior 66 kilo battle. He's got 115 on the bar now.
Bar loaded at 115 for James Leaper.
He's getting himself nicely set up there. And from this angle I can see that he's not got the best shoes for this. It looks like his heels are curled up at the end. But that was a strong press. It hasn't held him up. I always recommend that people for bench use shoes with a really solid heel, because you can't have your heels up in IPF benching. And if it looks to the referee like your heels are up, even if that's just how your shoes are patterned, then you'll struggle to get the start command. It's not worth the stress, it really isn't. So here's Roger Hamilton Smith from South Midlands. Roger is an M166. He's unopposed today.
And to my eye, he's had 2 good lifts. He's looking this to round off a 3rd.
Oh, he's fighting that, but that was a valiant effort.
Yeah,
he gave it some welly, but it didn't really go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't think he would have. He's given it everything. There was nothing more left to give for sure. Chris Eaton coming up.
Okay, here's Chris. He's coming out for 125. I think this is around about his personal best.
Yeah, so he's gone 110, 120 today. So, and then he takes the leap to 125. So it's common sequence of leaps that we've seen.
Looking very focused there.
It's well on it. Wonder if this is a PR of some kind.
It's close to his best, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
I think he may have done this or 122.5 maybe in the past.
Down it comes to the chest and
slow but steady.
Slow but steady.
That looks good to me.
3 white lights.
And a roar of triumph as he leaves the platform.
Tremendously happy with that. Tremendously happy.
Next weight on the bar, Mike Rose. Chris Jennings and Lee Gray will follow. If I have anything to do with it.
120, 125 has been Mike Rose's day, and he got both of them.
His last one was a bit of a struggle, though, and I'm not surprised that he's only put 2.5 on this one.
Yeah, let's see how he gets on. Out it comes. Down to the chest.
And he's fighting it, but it's ground to a halt. That's not going anywhere.
Again, all you can really do is give it everything you've got, and I'm very, very confident that was everything he had.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it definitely was.
For those of you watching on the stream, if you look in the bottom right of your screen, you're going to find something new that we're doing this year, and that's a graphic display that shows you the lifter's performance for the day. Green boxes indicate good lift, red box indicate a missed lift, so you can tell at a glance how that lifter's performed today and how they've done. It's a new feature we brought in 2019 for British powerlifting, and as far as we know, no one else is doing it, so we hope you like it. Of course, if you've got any feedback, then live stream at wiredupmedia.co.uk. I'm afraid we can't monitor the chat. We have to save the internet we have here on site. We're slightly limited, but drop us an email, tell us what you think. We're always happy to improve. Chris Jennings takes 130 down to his chest, and he's caught on the way up.
Do you know, it's just reached a state of equilibrium there. He was pressing as hard as he could, but it wasn't going any further.
The immovable object and the unstoppable force.
I think he was, that gave him silver medal in class, though.
Oh, excellent. Lee Gray, 125, missed 130. Let's see how he goes from here.
So he's coming out for this for the second time. We're about to get a tall person step into the way of me. I know he's ground to a halt. That's good.
He's kept moving through. That's okay.
So Lee is currently in 4th place.
Looks composed. Took him a while to get the start. I wondered if the referee was concerned about the wobble on the left-hand side. No.
I'm not sure. Sometimes I can't see the side referees from where I am, so maybe one of the side referees still had their hand in the air. The side referees have their arms up until they're satisfied with the lifter's position. Feet must be flat on the floor, bum must be in contact with the bench, and arms must be at full extension. So if any of those criteria aren't correct, the side referee will keep their arm in the air, and the centre referee won't give the start signal. Okay, here's Ragul Parthipan. He is currently in silver medal position. I can't quite see that this will... Someone's just not on the projector as well. We're having all manner of technical difficulties here.
Although thankfully, the stream seems to be holding steady. So
that's good. That's good. If you can see what's happening, that's something.
That's Ragul down to 137.5 to his chest. Off his chest, he looked tremendously strong.
He did. I think that's a really well judged third attempt.
That was brilliant. In fact, I've seen him lift before, I believe. I think I saw him at the British Universities. Strong, strong lad. Good work.
Well, he's got the silver medal in the 74 kilo juniors.
By Daniel Thomas and Krista Simmons. 2 attempts remain to change openers for the B group.
William Reid is up next. He's a 74 kilo junior, and he's already won his class. This is just for pride.
So he went 130, 135. Let's see how he gets on. Yeah, so this is 5 kilo jump. And in a day of 2.5 jumps, a 5 kilo jump is relatively brave, but let's see how it goes.
He's got a nice big arch there, his chest up.
Down to his chest. Oh, no.
No, that's not going anywhere.
Put himself in the right position, kept himself taut in all the places he needs to stay taut, but it wasn't going to go, it wasn't going to go.
Well, presumably that was a PB attempt. He'd already won his class, so it's worth going for it.
Krista Simmons, Emmanuel Franklin and Danny Potter.
Live sheet is working, so if you want to see what's going on with the scores, navigate to the link at the top of the just underneath the YouTube stream. You'll also notice that's searchable, so if you're looking for a particular lifter, just type their name in, they'll pop straight up.
So we've got Danny Thomas, who's already won his class in the 66 kilo open. And he's going for 150.
This is interesting. He appears to have made a 120, 140 jump between bench press 1 and bench press 2. That's a brave.
You know, in equipped benching, I would have said he's come out raw and then put a shirt on to make a jump like that, but I don't think that's happened today.
It's a strong, strong lad. Let's see how he gets on with this. 100.
Yeah, unusual to take a 30 kilo jump between first and third. Oh, it's going. No, he's ground to a halt. What a shame. That was so close.
Yeah. Right hand side just couldn't quite get there.
I think 147.5 would have gone, but you know, it's easy to be wise after the event.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020, I believe.
It really is. So we have Chris Simmons. He's in third place. That isn't going to move him up. Chris is coming out for 155.
Krista Simmons, let's have a look how his day is going. 140, 150.
He's asking for support from the crowd, and he's getting it.
Absolutely, there's a big crowd here today, and they're very much behind the lifters.
So we're really close to the end of Group A now. We'll move into Group B. Group B and C are smaller than Group A, thankfully. Down
it comes to the chest, sinks in the chest a little bit, and doesn't go anywhere, which is probably why it sank in the chest a little bit. I think he's still been given it, but it wasn't going to go, was it, Joe?
Yeah, the rule is sinking and heaving. It's you can sink into the chest as far as you like, but if you sink after the press command, then that's a red light. Next up, we've got Emmanuel Franklin. He's in silver medal position.
157.5 kilos, Emmanuel Franklin.
Emmanuel Franklin, out he comes. He's got a bit of a fan club down the front of the stage. That's how I don't know. Did he miss this last time?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he missed it. To be honest, it looked like a strength fail, not a technical error, so he'd be lucky to get it this time.
See how he gets on. He's taking his time, and that's absolutely his prerogative. It's a big old lift. Let's see how he does. A fabulous arch. Oh, well.
No, just not quite.
And do you know what? We've seen a lot of close fails today, but that was probably one of the closest. You know, he hit a sticking point, he ground through that, but then he just found a wall beyond that.
So here's Danny Potter. This is for the win. I can't quite see if he's already won the class. He's in the 74 kilo open.
Missed his second. What is this, 157? Okay, so he's given himself 2 bites at for the win, hasn't he?
Can't just make out what Emmanuel pressed for his first, so I can't quite tell whether...
I can tell you right now, Joe. Give me 1 second. Oh, hell. I pressed the wrong button. He pressed 152 for his first.
Okay.
Oh, and meanwhile, it's all over anyway and redundant. He's got it, hasn't he?
Yep, so
There,
that is
3 white
the
lights.
gold medal press for Danny Potter.
Congratulations
and you can see
to
that
Danny
smile on
Potter.
his face.
It's great to see, isn't it? I wandered backstage earlier. I was had a legitimate reason for being there, Sinead. I wasn't just wandering in. And it's just to see the elation on some lifters' face, the sadness on some, just reminds you that as much as they're on our screen for a few seconds here and there, it's a massive day for them, always round.
Okay, so we're doing the dance to the referees now. We'll change the referees round for the different group. And we were moving into Group B. I think Group B is the 83 kilo class, but I don't have any information in front of me anymore, so I'm guessing really. I'm going to guess that this is all of the 83s, the juniors, the masters, open and everything.
I'm really sorry. I need Joe to be able to see the stage, so could I move you? That was a good lift for David Horne, yeah. I think that was good. I haven't seen the lights yet. Hang on, Joe, I'll sort this out.
And that was the lift. I can't see any lights. I can see 2 thumbs, 3 white thumbs, 3 white lights. That's good enough. That is a good lift for David Horne. 105 kilos next weight on the bar, Edward Owen. Oliver Davis and Joshua Steve to follow.
Okay, we have the problem with powerlifters is that they're very wide and you can't see through them. So once you get a couple of powerlifters between you and the stage, you have no chance. So we've cleared a temporary viewing window, hopefully. And here's Edward Owen. He's a sub-junior 83 kilo lifter. And he's got 105 on the bar. He was a little bit uneven with an extension there. I mean, that's not a problem, wouldn't get you a red light. But he just looked a little bit tipped over. So I hope that isn't an indication of any issues. Next up, we've got Oliver Davis. He's a junior 83. Here comes Oliver. He's coming out for 110. Taking his time to set his arch. Oh, that's a nice big arch he's got there. No, he's a little bit unsteady.
He's not getting the start command, is he?
No, he's just a little bit unsteady. He got it quick enough, but I think he jumped the press command there. Let's see what the referees say.
Oh, no.
No. That's my mistake. I can't actually hear the centre ref. It just looked like the press was ahead of the signal.
115 next weight on the bar for Joshua Steve.
Big shout out to Joe Wiley doing the commentary with me today. As we said, we took one of our cameras that we were using to feed Joe information out, so because it was causing instability on the stream, and now she's having a duck and dive around people standing in her way, and she's a legend for it. So thank you, Joe.
Well, as I said, George, while you were off the mic, powerlifters are quite wide and hard to see through, so causing us some problems here.
Yeah, and seemingly not quite attuned to not standing in the same space twice, even though they've been told. But then again, I think that's more people than powerlifters.
I think it is. So we've got Joshua Stine on the platform at the moment. He's a junior 83, and he's got 115 kilos on the bar. And that's a slow, steady, controlled descent.
And nice and clean up.
Yeah, that was easy enough. That was a nice opener.
Big shout out to the sponsors of Lyco, SBD, and of course British Powerlifting for having us here. We're Wired Up Media, and we're absolutely delighted to be streaming the competition here today. Big shout out to everyone watching the stream. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We like likes and we like subscriptions as well, if you fancy giving us one of those. Big shout out to Joe Wiley doing a sterling job of the commentary under slightly trying circumstances. And big shout out to Andy Champ for running such a tight competition today. So this is Flight B, is it not, Joe?
Yeah, this is Flight B. I think in this session we have flights A, B and C. I believe I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is the 83 kilo class, all age classes. So we've got juniors, open and masters. Everyone's an 83. That's my best guess.
Good lift for Kevin Bars. All looked straightforward. 125 kilos went easily enough.
The living legend that is Tony Stevens just passing us by there.
Jim Wands, 125 kilos. He's an 83 kilo lifter. Let's see how he gets on with this. Masters 1 male.
We've got quite a few M1s in this class, I think.
Now, might have wanted my opener to move a bit smoother than that one, Joe.
Yeah, it wasn't super easy, was it?
Yeah, I think I might have wanted that one to, but then again, I'd also quite killed to open on 125 kilos. So, you know, who am I to say,
too,
right?
to be
You know,
fair.
yeah, well, there you go, right? You know what I mean? However, accepting that, I still think we might have wanted that to move a little bit more smoothly. Still, nonetheless, he got it up, and that's the thing. Malcolm Long trains at the Commando Temple Gym in Deptford. Absolutely top guy, always round. And coming out for his opener at 125 kilos. Done a lot of work on his bench press last year. Worked really very hard. Competed in the Masters Championship near the end of the year, and I know he's delighted to be back out on the platform again. Down it comes. That's the press. Well,
that's nice, isn't it? Now that is how you'd like an opener to look.
Like a buttered salmon. That was very smooth indeed. So I had to drop that one in. That's a favourite of Malcolm when we're both down the gym.
Is
so
it?
Yeah, it's a
No,
little.
I've never understood this phrase that it's like butter. I just really don't get it. I can't see it at all.
I'm not sure it makes a whole lot of sense, but hopefully he appreciates it if he ever watches this back. If you do, Malcolm, let me know when we're.
If anyone's lips
training.
look like butter, it should be this guy, Jack Spreadbury. 83 kilo open class.
135 kilos. No bad lift to open your bench press competition with at all. See how he gets on.
Now, I was just about to look at the record sheet to see if anyone was getting close, but of course it's Owen Hibbert in this class, isn't it? So I might as well not even look. Given that he's a world record holder.
Yeah, great lift there for Jack. So is Owen competing today? No, he's not.
No,
he just
he's
holds
not
the
here
record.
today.
He just holds all the bench records, right?
Pretty much.
I was had the privilege of watching him at the British Classic not so long ago, and to watch someone take the lead on bench was a exceedingly impressive thing.
Absolutely.
Aaron O'Neill, 135.
So Aaron is a junior 83. Opening at 135 kilos. Gets the start command. Braces, nice big chest there. And I think that was a good lift. That was a good lift.
3 white lights and a good lift at 135 kilos for Aaron O'Neill. Craig Wilkins next up with 135
Craig
kilos.
Wilkins, stalwart of the South East Division. Craig is a British records registrar. He produces all the rankings. He, up until very recently, also was very involved in the South East Division. So here he is, M1, 83 kilo. And that's a nice and steady bench for Craig. He'll be pleased with that.
Wilkins there. 3 white lights and a good lift. 140 next way at the bar for Sean Haynes. Sean will be followed by Jasmine, the Singh and James.
Yeah, there's a big
Vickers.
smile on Craig's face as he leaves the platform there. So Sean Hayes is up next. He's also an M1.
Bar loaded, 140 kilos for Sean Haynes.
So this is in direct competition to Craig, who just went. He's opening at 5 kilos heavier. Looks like he's elected to self-hand out. I always think even if it takes only a little bit of energy out of you to hand out yourself, you know, why not save that? Why not let someone else do that work for you? Here we go. I can see him tuck in really tightly. Do you know what? That wasn't as easy as an opener. It's not as easy as you might like it to be, shall we say. Because it doesn't matter where you open, it only matters where you finish. And you don't want to tire yourself out doing really hard lifts for your first couple. So here we go with Jasvinder Singh. He's a familiar face to anyone who's been following either raw or equipped powerlifting in the last few years. Singh is a very well-known name. He's got Jasvinder and Jaswinder Singh lifting, both equipped and raw, and have been doing so for very many years from the West Midlands division. So Jazz is opening at 140 kilos, and this is the biggest opener in the M1s. And look at that. That was nice and easy.
3 white lights and a good.
Looking very comfortable and confident.
142.5 kilos next weight on the bar.
Okay, now we have 83 kilo open. James Vickers
Mcgee.
opening at 142.5.
Bar loaded. 142.5 kilos for James Vickers.
Couldn't quite catch what he had on the back of his singlet there. Was it Oxford University? Got a nice big arch there. And 3 white lights. That was a very, very nice bench press actually. It was very easy. He had his chest right up. He was really tight. I think he's got a lot more in the chest.
142.5 kilos remains on the bar for Paul Marsh.
Okay, Paul Marsh is out next of Commando Temple. Usually see him coaching. Today he's lifting.
More often to be seen coaching. It's nice to see him on the platform himself.
And I've just heard my husband on the MC in there repeat exactly what I've said. It's nice to be in tune.
There goes Paul.
Oh dear.
Ooh,
Oh, that was a struggle.
No, I can offer you a bit of a... He damaged his pec a few weeks back. He's been carrying that, but he's done very well. But that will be what that was.
Ah.
So he's a strong lad.
Should
And
have dropped his opener a little bit there with carrying an injury.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those ones where one day is good, the next day it's a little bit of a twinge. Either way, he's through it, and who knows where he'll be going next.
Okay, we're back into the juniors now. The rest of the lifters in this class are juniors. And Dan Mcgee is opening at 147.5. You can see he's wearing the GBR singlet there, which shows that he's represented his country in international competition. Looking very professional as he sits on the end of the bench and composes himself and gets ready for the lift.
Dan Mcgee, 147.5 kilos. He gets the handout from Andy Champ.
30 seconds.
Taking his time, but that's in prerogative.
Yeah, you get 60 seconds from bar loaded being called. And 60 seconds, it's plenty of time to do a lift. It's plenty of time to do your setup. And that was very easy.
Excellent work there.
3 white lights and a good lift for Dan Mcgee at 147.5. 150 next way on the bar, Curtis Taylor. Anujan Srikantha and Harry Lahrman to follow.
Curtis Taylor is up next. We're opening at 150 in the juniors.
150 kilos.
Curtis Taylor, 150 kilos. Let's see what goes on here. The back is well chalked, Joe.
Yeah, I find that not everyone suffers from this, but I slip about, especially on a Eleiko bench. The bench pads aren't that grippy, although I believe the brand new Eleiko bench has a grippy section on it. So I do like to chalk my back up a lot, otherwise my shoulders slip.
Straight through there, though. That was a very smooth one indeed, wasn't it? So
he's got a lot more there.
Was that his second?
It was his first. We're still on first lifts in Group B.
Yeah, my bad.
Lift at 150 for Curtis. Next way on the bar, 155 kilos. Anujan Srikantha.
Anujan Srikantha is also a junior. He's opening at 155. These are big lifts for these junior 83s.
155 kilos. It's a big one, isn't it?
Bar loaded, Anujan Srikantha.
He's just taking a second. Some query about the rack height.
The rack height, yeah.
Yeah.
Went down quite a way.
Yeah, that's quite a drop. Well, you'd want that to be correct. Let's be honest.
Definitely. Well, you are getting a handoff, and it is classic, not equipped, but you still want it to be right. You want it to be where you want it to be.
Well, you know what it's like. You know, it's a big number anyway, isn't it? 155. It's
it is.
not messing around. I like it to be right when I'm squatting 155. You know what I mean? That's just me, unfortunately. Weak old me. Down it comes to the chest. Off it goes off the chest. Well,
he was lovely and tight there. That was a nice, easy press.
Oh, absolutely. That was remarkably smooth.
Okay, here comes our last junior in class, opening at 160.
Harry Lahrman, 160 kilos. Last one of this flight, is it, Joe? No, last two.
I think there's another one after this.
Yeah,
This is the
Krista
last
Teague
junior.
coming up afterwards, I think. So Harry Lahrman. Out he comes. He's got a little bit of something he does with his right hand. He sort of just seems to rub the bar a little bit. Whatever gets the job done.
Spot that.
No, it was just a sort of weird. It was just a little motion with his hand. Anyway, he did it, and if he gets the lift, then he'll be glad he did it. And, well, he can do whatever he likes to the bar if he's going to move it like that. Frankly,
Yeah,
that's a very smooth one indeed. Oh, so yellow flag goes up. So
we got a yellow flag from Wendy Kirkland on the right. I don't know what she spotted that no one else did. It may have been a movement of the foot, or maybe the bum came up. The yellow card can represent quite a few different things.
Bottom or heels.
Yeah. Or maybe feet touching the bench, or spotter involvement, or hitting the rack.
Okay,
or
gotcha.
You know, there's about 7 or 8.
Please move. Can you go somewhere other than where you are? You're in the way of the coaches. You're in the way of the commentators. Please move elsewhere. Thank you. Bar loaded.
Okay, this is Christopher Teague. He's opening at 160. He's in the open class. And that moved very easily, didn't it? 3 white lights for him.
3 white lights and a good lift. Christopher Teague,
So
160.
that was the last lift of the last of the first lift in Group B. So we go back to the top now, and everyone starts their second lifts.
Excellent day's lifting so far. Fabulous organisation by Andy Champ and his team here. Big shout out to everyone on the live stream and the sponsors, Elico, SPD, and of course British Powerlifting, who have us here. We are Wired Up Media. We're absolutely delighted to be here. We're going to be here for 2016 with British Powerlifting, and we've put in a whole bunch of stuff that we really think is going to make the coverage better and really help move things along, including the lighting systems and all the rest.
Bar is loaded. Bar's loaded at 110 kilos for Edward Owen.
Here's Edward Owen. He's a sub-junior. That means he's under 18.
Here comes Edward Owen, 110 kilos, not a bad place for a second attempt. Oh, he's not got the... No, he's got it. All good. I don't know what I'm seeing, but it's not what the referees are seeing, thankfully, and that's a good lift for Edward Owen.
I think it's probably worth pointing out for people that have tuned in for the final group, which should have started 5 minutes ago. We are still on Group 3. We are still on our third session. So we should have started with the 105s and above a few minutes ago, but that's not going to happen for some time.
David Horne, Masters 2 male, 110 kilos. Takes his time, if one gets it right, 110 kilos, 83 is no joke. So down it comes to the chest. Ooh, well, you know what, he saved it, didn't he? He found it in a place he didn't
but that
like.
was a struggle.
Yeah.
3 white lights and a good lift for David Horne at 110, 115.
Yeah, and he went, it's a 7.5 kilo jump, so he has got the option of doing a smaller jump as well. He did take a bit of a leap there.
I think he's going to need to. I don't think much more is going to go.
No, not much more than 2.5 kilos there, if we're frank. But let's see what he chooses to put in. It might just be that, you know, as we say, it's a misgrooved.
Kilos for Oliver Davis.
Here's Oliver Davis. He's in the juniors. He's coming out for 115. He did 110 for his opener. Looked easy enough.
You've very professionally not said anything, Joe, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Misgrooving is a bit
I
of a...
pulled my face a little bit
it
at
was
that
a little
phrase.
bit, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, we all know that there's no real thing as misgroove, but do you know what?
No,
but so be it.
it's just getting it wrong, isn't it? Just making a mess of it, really.
Listen, don't destroy all of the ways that, you know, Oscar makes me feel like I'm not messing up the lift every time. Anyway, Oliver Davis, 83 kilo category, 115 kilos for the junior male.
Nice big breath, brings it down, nice and confident, and that's a strong press. Yeah, he's got a fair bit more in the tank there, Oliver, I think.
And a good
Absolutely.
115 for Oliver Davies. Joshua Steen next out with 120. Malcolm Long and Jim Wands to follow.
Joshua Steen up next. He's also a junior. And he's coming out for 120 kilos.
120 kilos. Joshua Steen. Bench press number 2, junior male at 83 kilo weight category. Gets himself set. Brings his shoulders down. Yep, gets the start command. Really takes his time with that descent, doesn't he, Joe?
It does. It looks like quite a tricep dominant bench as well. He's got his elbows tucked quite a fair bit, but that was lovely and controlled. I'd say he's got another 5 kilos there.
3 white lights and a good lift at 120 for Joshua Steen. 127.5 kilos.
And here's Malcolm Long in the M1s. Masters 1 is the 40 to 49 age class.
Malcolm Long trains at the Commando Temple down in Deptford. 127.5 kilos is his second attempt.
Bar is loaded.
Just a quick reminder, this group is the 83 kilo class. We've got all the age classes in here as well. We've got sub-juniors, juniors, sub-juniors being under 18, juniors are under 23, open class, and then we've got a few, I think we've got M1s, I'm not sure if we've got any M2s. I don't think I spotted any going past.
Now, knowing Malcolm as I do, I suspect he's going to absolutely smoke this. Let's see how he gets along. Fabulous mobility. He's worked very hard on his bench this year. Under the watchful eye of Oscar Stevenson, his coach. Takes it out himself, likes to know exactly where the bar is.
So he's a stable mate of yours.
Oh, yes. Down it comes to the chest, and just like that.
Strong.
Yeah,
put
strong boy.
some more weight on that.
Yeah, indeed.
3 white lights and a good lift at 127.5 kilos.
127.5 smoke for Malcolm Long, and we move on to...
Jim Wands.
So Jim Wands next in the same class as Malcolm, M1. M183s.
Kevin Bars and Craig Wilkins will follow Jim. The bar is loaded.
Jim Wands. Jim Wands comes on out, gets his shoulders set in.
Using the rack to set his arch there, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's pretty slow. There was never in any question. That's not bad for a second attempt. Now we have got some M2s. We've got 2 M2s in the class by the look of it. Kevin Barr is currently in gold medal position in the M2s. He's... the projector's gone off. I can no longer bring you any information at all. Oh, we're back. Excellent. Fantastic. So we've got Kevin Bars in the M2s. He's well in the lead in the class at the moment. And he's got 132.5 in his hands. Oh, that's slow and steady.
3 white lights and a good lift at 132.5 kilos for Kevin Bars. 140 next to it at the bar for Craig Wilkins, Jack Spreadbury and Aaron.
Okay, so we've got Craig Wilkins out next. He's in the M1s and he's in bronze medal position right now. He's coming out for 140 kilos. Craig used to compete 3 lift, but he hurt his back a little while ago, so he's now bench only.
Bar is loaded, 140 kilos for Craig Wilkins.
Here comes Craig. And he's setting up his arch there. Nice big arch he's got there. That's a really positive descent and a really strong press. Looking really good there.
3 white lights and a good lift at 140 for Craig Wilkins. 142.5 kilos next weight on the bar. This is for Jack Spreadbury.
Next up, Jack Spreadbury is in the open class. We're having all sorts of difficulty with our information. Okay, so Jack has got 142 kilos on the bar. Slow, controlled descents. And quite a slow press out. You've got to question how much more he's got in the tank there. A slow descent can be good because you're under control and you can keep your tightness all the way down. But if it's too slow, you can tire yourself out. And by the time you get to the chest, you've got nothing left to press. This is Aaron O'Neill in the juniors. I think that's 142 on the bar. Nice, careful handout from Andy there. That's a lovely second attempt.
3 white lights and a good lift at 142.5 kilos for Aaron O'Neill.
Currently fourth in class. I think he's a little bit too far behind to move up to podium position. So we're back to the M1s. This is Sean Hayes in the M1s. I think he's currently silver medal position. He's got 147.5 on the bar. Looking very calm and measured as he approaches the platform there. Everyone's style's different as they come out. Some people run out on the platform like they've been shot out of a cannon. He was more controlled, much more relaxed. Self on rack. Nice bit of leg drive, and that was no problem at all. Giving himself a little fist bump there as he left the platform.
I think that was a good lift. That was a good lift at 147.5 kilos for Sean Hayes.
We've got an absolute sea of green here in the 83s. I don't think anyone's failed. I don't want to give it the commentator's curse, but I don't think anyone's failed a lift yet. Now, Paul Marsh, his opener looked a struggle, to be honest. George tells me he's hurt his pec recently, so that probably is a contributing factor. No, that just went. I wonder if he's hurting, if he's got an injury he's carrying there. So Paul was in the Opens, he's in 4th place at the moment.
Next way on the bar is 150 for Jasmine to Singh. James Vickers and Curtis.
Okay, we've got Jazz Singh out next. He's coming out for 150. Jazz is leading the M1s at the moment. Taking his time to set up. His opener was very easy. And his second's no different. Plus he doesn't need to stretch himself too far. He's well in the lead in the M1s.
Next way at the bar is 150 for James Vickers. Curtis Taylor and Dan Mcgee.
James Vickers up next. He's in the Open. He's currently in 3rd place in the Open. $150 on the bar.
Bar is loaded, 150 kilos, James Vickers.
I think this is quite a small jump for James. I think he, I think it was 140. Oh no, it's 142 he took for his first. A nice easy 150 for his second.
And a good lift at 150 for James Vickers. Next way on the bar is 155 for Curtis Taylor. 155, rack height 8, 155.
Curtis Taylor's up next. He's in the juniors and currently in a bronze medal position.
Bar is 155 for Curtis Taylor.
That was a good lift for Curtis.
And a good lift for Curtis Taylor at 155 kilos. 155 remains on the bar. Rack height remains at 8 for Dan Mcgee. Therefore, the bar is loaded.
Okay, I'm losing information a little bit. The only remaining source of information for me is the score sheet that's up on the wall, and that's flickering on and off as though we're in a disco. So this is Dan Mcgee. Dan is in second place in the Open. He's got 155 on the bar. That's a really quick descent he's got there, and a really strong press out. I think he's got a fair bit more to come on his third lift.
And a good lift at 155 kilos for Dan Mcgee. 160 next weight on the bar for Anujan Srikantha.
Anujan Srikantha's up next.
Teague to follow.
He is in the juniors. In fact, he's in silver medal place in the juniors. $160 kilos on the bar.
Anujan Srikantha.
Okay, he's taking his time to set up. He's got 160 kilos in his hands. And a strong press. There's some good benching going on today.
3 white lights and a good lift for Anujan Srikantha at 160 kilos.
Okay, that still leaves him in silver medal place, I think. We have
Teague and David Horne to get ready.
Harry Lahrman coming out next. He's currently in gold medal position in the juniors. And he's got 167.5 on the bar.
Bar is loaded, 167.5 kilos for Harry Lahrman. White lights and a good lift at 167.5 kilos for Harry Lahrman. Rack height is 7. The next lift is Krista Teague, 170. Rack height is 7.
I've lost the score sheet entirely now, so I think this is Christopher Teague. He's winning the Open class at the moment, and there's 170 kilos on the bar. Oh, that's a struggle. That's a struggle. It's gone all the way, but I think he's on the limit there. To be fair, I think he's a long way in the lead in his class, so that shouldn't be a problem for him. So we're back to the top. We are into the third attempts now.
Rack height is 9. Rack height is 9.
Okay, we've got 112.5 on the bar. I'm not sure who the lifter is. I think this is David Horne coming out for his third attempt. Yep, David Horne, M2. He's got all his lifts so far, but I don't think he's getting this one. That's a valiant fight, but it's not going all the way. Oh, he let go of it. Yeah, it's always worth keeping hold of the bar, just to make sure that it's not going to fall on your face if you let go of it. Okay, next up, Edward Owen. He's in the sub-juniors. And he's asking for 115 kilos for his first attempt. Hardly anyone's missed their lifts in this flight, which is great to see. But obviously, third round bench, often a sea of red. But here comes Edward. He's under 18 and he's in the 83 kilo class. So 115 kilos is a big bench. That was no trouble for him at all. So Edward Owen, he was unopposed in class, so he's a default British champion. And now we're into the juniors. This is Oliver Davis. He's got his first two attempts. He's going to come out for 120 kilos for his third. Here's Oliver. Kelly. Oh, is it going? He's fighting it. Is it going? Come on, lad, you can do it. Come on. Well, it went all the way. What do the referees think? I'm seeing 2-1. I'm seeing a blue card and a yellow card, so I'm not quite sure what the issue was. Blue card means usually means downward movement at the bar. That's the most common blue card failure, but yellow card can mean a number of things. Joshua Steen is out next. He's in the juniors. Here's Josh, 125 kilos on the bar. And that's another difficult third attempt, just a little bit too heavy. Okay, we're into the M1s now. Just a quick reminder, this is still the 83s. If you've tuned in expecting to see 105s and above, then we are running quite late, possibly an hour, possibly a little bit more. So this is still the 83 kilo class. We're on third attempts for the 83s. This is Jim Wands. He's an M1 lifter, which means he's in his 40s. Currently sitting in 5th place in class. 132.5 kilos on the bar. Oh, that's a struggle. I'm not sure if his bum's coming up as well while he's pressing it. Let's see what the side refs say. 3 white lights, he got it. He punches the air as he leaves the platform. So next up, Kevin Bars. He's in the M2s. He's in gold medal position in the M2s. He's unassailable. He's already won. So this is just for his own pride. Possibly a PB attempt. Who knows? 135 kilos on the bar.
Kevin Bars. Oh,
no,
not today.
That's not going anywhere, is it?
Bit too heavy, unfortunately. That is
He's already won. He didn't need it. Okay, back to the M1s. This is Malcolm Long.
Malcolm Long from the Commando Temple Powerlifting Club down in Deptford. He did 125 or 127.5. Smoked them both. So let's see what he's going to do with this 135 kilos. Very confident he's going to do a very good lift here. But let's not jinx it. Let's see how he gets along. Gets himself set up. He spent a lot of time working on his bench over the last year or so. Competed also at the British Classic in September. British Masters, I should say, in September. Unracks it.
Just a reminder, folks, this is a school. That means there is no smoking anywhere.
Down it comes. Up it goes.
Nice and easy.
Fabulous, fabulous lift from Malcolm. There he goes. Caps off his day. Easy, easy, easy. Great
You know,
work.
he's a powerlifter though. He's going to be walking away saying, "Oh, I should have put a bit more on."
Jack Spreadbury, 145 kilos.
Open kilo, open class lifter, and he's coming out for 145.
Bar is loaded. Bar is loaded.
135, 142.5 is Jack's day so far, and 145. So he's gone for the 2.5 kilo jump. Joe, do you remember what his last one looked like?
Do you know? I don't. So many lifters coming through. I can't just
No,
remember.
forgive me. Shouldn't have put you on the spot like that one.
No, that's all right. I'm happy to say if I don't know.
Gets himself set, brings it down to his chest.
Well, that was easy enough.
Oh, there it is. Well, maybe that's why that looks so smooth. It's a bit easier, isn't it?
Touch and go is always a bit easier.
So,
Okay, Craig Wilkins, esteemed British Records registrar.
so this one's a this one's a record, whether he gets it or not. No, goodness me, how dare I suggest that? Anyway, let's see how he goes.
Well, I think he's got himself a place on the podium.
There you are. Or at least that's what the records show. So 145 kilos down to his chest, and well, goodness me.
Oh, well, I think that was a really well-judged attempt.
Joking aside, what a great press. Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
he's happy with that. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
and not a kilo more, I think, really. He just powered straight through, you know.
I'm
Kept
really
himself in
pleased for him. He's
position,
such a
did
nice man. He works so hard for the Federation.
Paul Marsh coming out, 147.5, bench press number 3.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw his second one, George. It got about halfway up and then just dropped. I wasn't sure if he was going to come out again. I wasn't sure if that injury you spoke of had flared up.
I don't know. Yeah, I did see him backstage in a fog of deep heat. Paul's a warrior. He's going to try and get every kilo he can, and he'll come back stronger for it. So, yeah, he's carrying something, and he's.
I wasn't sure whether he said warrior or warrior then.
Oh no, he's a warrior. He's not a warrior.
Okay.
147.5 down to his chest. Go on, Paul. Get it. Oh no. There you are. You see. No, there's something where he goes. He gets to that stage. I've seen him a million times in the gym smoke that. So I think maybe not the day for Paul today.
Maybe his injuries just kicked off a little bit. Okay, we're back to the juniors. This is Aaron O'Neill coming out for 150 kilos.
Big shout out to everyone watching on the stream. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We're here from. Nope, I forgot where we're at. Where are we, Joe?
We're in Newport
We're
Pagnell.
in Newport Pagnell, very good. And it's Ousdale School. I remembered that bit, but unfortunately I'd set myself up wrong. Newport Pagnell, Ousdale School. They made it feel very welcome indeed. Aaron O'Neill.
Indeed. I've even passed Watford Gap to get here.
Well, there we go. It's a big deal for us, isn't it?
No, it is. It is for me.
Aaron O'Neill, 150 kilos. Oh, now is he going to get the start with his arms wobbling like that? He is, but then he sort of hops
his
up and
arms
hops
were
it back down.
locked.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh
It's
dear.
going nowhere, is it?
No.
That was a valiant effort.
Yeah, it looked heavy when it came out, didn't it? Not that it wasn't under control, but it just didn't quite look like he was going to drive through that one.
Okay, so we are back to the M1s. This is Sean Hayes. He's in silver medal position. I don't think he's got any chance of catching Jazz in first place.
Have a little look at how his day's gone so far. He went 140, 147.5, and now he's jumped to 155. So 7.5 kilo jump, which is consistent across all three of his jumps, which speaks to confidence. I would
It
say.
definitely does. 7.5 kilos second to third on your bench press says that you're very confident that you can get it. So let's see if he's right.
152.5 for Sean Haynes. It's been there a while, but it comes down and oof, no. Big shout out, of course, to all the spotters, loaders, and everyone in Andy Champ's crew there, and demonstrating why they're so needed. You know what I mean? That would have been that wasn't something that needed to hit his chest there, was it? And they just leapt in and caught it just when they needed to. Yeah,
but it was a big jump and he was nowhere near pressing it, so you've got to question that third attempt, really.
Yes, absolutely. Still, I think, looking at it, 147.5, I think he actually went for 152, so it was a 5, but still.
Okay. Not the
yeah,
same.
yeah, so that's, forgive me, I think what we've got caught up there in George's maths.
Okay, here's James Vickers. He's in bronze medal position and unassailable, I think, in bronze medal position in the open class. 155 on the bar, and he's fighting it. It's a struggle. I think he's got it.
He has got it. Fabulous
Excellent
work. And a clean sheet across the board for James. All of his lifts today, so that's fantastic work. Curtis Taylor, 157.5 at 83 kilos, junior male. Let's see how his day has gone. 155 for his second. And now he goes 157.5. If we've seen that lift pattern once, we've seen it 100 times today, haven't we, Joe? 5, 2.5 in terms of V-jumps. So
yeah, it's fairly standard on classic bench.
Out it comes. A bit of movement there, so he didn't get the start. Hopefully that hasn't drained him too much, holding it aloft. Yeah, maybe it has. No, not quite. Yeah,
I think that was going to be a struggle for him anyway, to be fair.
No lift, unfortunately, no.
He's still got the bronze in the junior class.
Jasvinder.
Here comes Jazz. He's leading the M1s by some distance, I think.
He went 140, then he jumped 10 kilos to 150. Big jump for a bench comp. Let's see how he gets along. He's a Masters 1 male, 160
He was
kilos.
absolutely smoking those lifts, though, so I'm sure he'll get this.
Drops backwards onto the bench with a sort of air of now it's time to get this done.
I was just thinking it was a bit of a dying fly move.
This is the peril of subjectivity, isn't it, Joe? Do you know what I mean? You know? I guess we'll know which one of us was right after the lift.
Well, it's unusual you see legs wiggling in the air like that on the bench.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, you're right. It could be reviewed either way. We'll know in a minute whether or not.
I'm sure he's going to smoke it. Oh, and my sense it was misplaced.
But you were right. You were right about the flopping down the bench rather than my going down with purpose. So there we are.
Well, he's still won. He still won his class.
140, 150. No great shame to miss 160. It's all very strong.
Will follow. Bar loaded, 160 kilos. Dan Mcgee.
Okay, here we go. Dan Mcgee is in the open class, second place. He's come out for 160.
So it's 147.5, 155. Those are the two leaps. The two lifts that Dan has taken thus far. Out it will come. GBR singlet usually means something strong's about to happen. 160 kilos to the chest, off the chest, straight through. Good.
That was a great bench.
Yes, that was, wasn't it? Because
absolutely
actually, and I don't know if it came across necessarily on the stream, but actually that wasn't easy, was it? He was really pushing from the get-go.
Yeah, definitely.
And Nujan, 170 kilos for the 83 kilo junior male.
Silver medal position. I can't really see whether this is going to move him up or not. I suspect this might be for the win, you know. I'm squinting desperately at the spreadsheet. I can't quite make the numbers out.
170 kilos for Nujan Srikantha.
Yes, we are slightly far away from the action here. Wonderfully sportive venue here in Newsdale, but we're just a little bit far away from the stage. And we did have a camera set up so that Joe could see everything that was going on, and then it crashed the stream twice. So turn that off. Anyway, we make do and mend. Anujan, 170 kilos.
This is a big lift.
Hands. This is a big lift, isn't it? 170.
Centre ref isn't happy.
Okay, now that's interesting.
Not certain what it is he wasn't happy about.
Yeah. Now that's a real 170 kilos is a lot to unrack twice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is a game where It's a game where millimetres matter, and I know.
No, I think that was just too heavy.
Yeah.
He's still in silver medal position.
It's a real shame. I think he would have. Got it. I wonder what that was. I guess we can check at some point.
And now we're going for 175 kilos for Harry Lahrman. He's already won the juniors. Here he comes. This is a massive lift for a junior 83.
This is, isn't it? Harry Lahrman, 175 kilos. Goodness me, this is going to be quite something. Let's see how it goes. He is.
He's looking fired up, isn't he?
Yeah. He's doing that nod you do when you say yes, yes, yes. I'm going to absolutely nail this. Let's hope he's right. Gets himself set in. Out it comes. Now that is a big old wobble on his left arm. Doesn't necessarily matter.
I'm not certain his arms are locked.
Yeah,
no,
there you are. He's not
the
going to get
centre
it.
refs told him to re-rack. Yeah, he really needs to lock his arms out, otherwise he's not going to get the start command.
Yeah. Now he's strong because he absolutely smoked his first attempt. I remember that.
He is, but I don't know if he's going to get this.
Yeah.
Okay, he's managed to lock his arms. No. Anyway.
Now maybe, just maybe, if he hadn't had the re-rack, but it still looked pretty heavy.
You can blame it on that. Okay, this is the last lift of B group. This is Krista Teague. He's far and away won the Opens, and he's going to have a go at 175 as well.
Bar is loaded, Krista Teague, 175 kilos.
So, let's see how he gets on. It's a big old lift, not to be trifled with, and I'm sure he's not planning on doing so.
No, that's not going anywhere. Well, that was a valiant effort, but it wasn't actually moving. Okay, that concludes the 83 kilo class. We now move on to Group C. I'm going to take a stab at this and say it's the 93s.
Shall we see if we can find out? Have we got a name for someone in it? Horne, David Horne. Is that right?
No, David Horne was in the 83s.
We'll know any minute now. For those of you watching at home, if you want to see the score sheet, there is a link next to the video on YouTube. Click on that and you'll find yourself through to a score sheet. You can search through that for your lifter, whoever you're looking out for today, and that will tell you who they are and what they're doing and how their attempts went.
Bear with us 1 sec.
Okay, here we go. This is indeed the 93 kilo class. We have
90 kilos, rack height 9.
Jamie Green, who's a sub-junior, coming out for 90 kilos.
Jamie's on the platform.
So sub-junior, Joe, how old is that?
Under 18.
Wow.
That was a strong press.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a lot more there, hasn't he? But he's been safe, and that's all good. He's a big lad for under 18, isn't he?
90 remains on the bar,
I didn't notice, to be honest. I've got a little bit of a window through to the bench press that I can see. It's so busy here. I can't remember the last time I saw a British Championships where it was this busy.
Every lifter has that preference.
But that does mean that
loaded, 90 kilos, Harold Holdershaw.
That does mean that we've got brief windows into the action and we're often quite obscured. Okay, we've got Harold Holdershaw. He's on the platform. He's an M2. He's unopposed in the 93s.
So M2 being Joe?
In the 50 to 59 age class.
Goodness gracious me. Okay, well, if I can press 90 when I'm kilos like that when I'm 50, I'll be very happy indeed. A very good lift indeed.
Well, I'm hoping very much I'll be able to. I'm 50 next year.
Well, there you go, you see.
So next up we have, I think this is Mike Edwards. Yeah, Mike is an M4.
So it's 92.5 kilos on the bar.
So virtually body weight for Mike.
He's walked out with a real purpose there, hasn't he? I guess this is not his first rodeo?
Absolutely not. Mike is a very well established bencher. I've lost sight of the platform, unfortunately. But that looked like a good lift. Yeah, it was a good lift for Mike. He's a familiar face to anyone who's been in British powerlifting for any length of time.
Next weight on the bar, 110 for Clive Lingard.
Okay, Clive Lingard, he's another familiar face. He's another M4 lifter in the 93s.
Clive Lingard, as Joe says. Sorry, ladies and gents. When I go quiet on the mic, it's usually because I'm manoeuvring someone out of Joe's way. So if I immediately come on and then say just what she said, I do apologise. It's a slightly discombobulated to pop my headphones off and then push people out of the way.
So here's Clive. He's in his 70s and he's benching without wrist straps. Fairly narrow grip.
Yeah, indeed. That is a narrow grip, isn't it? Down it comes to his chest.
Oh, his head's off the bench.
Oh.
Ooh. No,
And
that's
it's
a struggle
not
as
when
well.
his
That
feet
has
have
not
moved.
gone well.
It's been a bit of a shuffle as well,
There's
hasn't there?
all sorts wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, as well...
No lift, unfortunately, no lift.
Okay, so it was called for downward movement at the bar from the centre ref, something I don't know from the side ref.
So, as he walked off, you're probably going to see from your angle, he was grabbing his hamstring.
Was he?
So I think you might find that at
Yeah.
some point something went bang, and that was the thing that put him right off
That
there.
definitely did not go how he'd planned. But quite often, when the head comes off the bench, you get away with it because the side refs are often obscured by the rack. So quite often, only the centre ref sees that. John Reardon, M3. I think it's the only M3 we've got here today.
Out it comes out the rack. Down it comes to the chest. Oh, well, there you are. That's
yeah,
what no
that's
should look
nice
like.
and easy, yeah.
3 white lights and a good lift at 110 for John. Next weight on the bar is 117.5 kilos.
I'd like to thank the anonymous person who's provided me with some extra caffeine to get me through. We were looking to be closing the competition in the next hour or so, but we will be continuing for quite some time yet, I think.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of people here today, and no facility for 2 platforms. And even if it was, I think that would have been overkill. So therefore, we've just got to keep chewing through them.
I'm not a huge fan of 2 platforms. I know it's inevitably you have to sometimes just to get through the sheer numbers, but the lifter doesn't get their moment on the platform.
Well, exactly. Yeah, of course. And at the end of the day, everyone who's come here to lift today has been preparing for weeks on end. It's always just good to see them get their moment, to show exactly what they've been training for.
So this is Jamie Avenal. He's in the open class, and he's starting his lift at 117.5.
Had to do a little hitch up to make sure it was in the right place to start, but then it was, and away he
I
went.
think he was called the centre ref. We've got Helen Toms in the centre chair now. I think she called him for...
Oof. There's no lift always round. He's been called for something.
Again, we've got a variety of different colours from the referees, so I'm uncertain as to why that is. We had blue cards, we had yellow cards.
Ted Simmons, 120 kilos.
Here's Ted, he's a sub-junior.
120 kilos for Tim Simons.
Did I say Ted? I meant Tim. Tim Simons.
God, what did I say?
I've no idea.
Let's not worry about it then.
I'm gonna say it was you and I copied you.
Yeah, I think it was me. Yeah. Tim, down to the chest with 120 kilos, straight off the chest, and away he goes.
Yeah, that was a strong press.
That was a strong press.
3 white lights and a good lift for Tim Simons at 120, 125.
And then we have Darren Stafford up next. He's in the M1s. Darren is from the Northwest Division.
You're reminded, if you want to follow along with the scores and what's going on, there's a link at the top of your screen. It'll take you through to a web page, and that will take you through to the results, and you can search for your lifter that you're looking to follow, or indeed just follow things along as they go. Also, you're reminded, in the bottom corner of the screen, you'll see a green progress bar, and that will show you how many lifts the lifter has got during the course of a day. All green means every lift has been got, and a combination of green and red means that they've missed a lift here and there.
Now, Darren has a prosthetic leg. He's got an above-the-knee amputation. So you'll see Donna's coming out now. She has to place the foot down. Feet must be flat on the floor. So that just needs to be placed for him, and he can continue his lift. And I'm afraid I didn't see the lift because someone stood in my way. So
and a good lift for Darren Stafford at 125 kilos.
I believe it was a good lift.
Next out with 130 kilos
Yeah.
on the bar.
The thing is that the people who are getting in Joe's way, as she said before, they're very wide
They're
people
very
at
wide.
this stage. These are 120 plus kilo powerlifters.
They're quite opaque.
I was very worried asking that gentleman
Okay.
to move, because I think he could have torn my head off with one hand. Anyway.
So we have Jamar Alexander coming out now. He's in the juniors and he's opening his account at 130 kilos.
Down it comes. Yeah, a little bit of work, but nothing that would concern me.
It wasn't super easy. Wasn't worrying.
It's one of those ones where if you're his coach, you know whether it's within parameters or not, don't you? But otherwise, you.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you've never seen someone lift before, understanding whether some people, you know, they will press like that and then they will only manage to press another 5 kilos, but other people will continue to put another 10, 15 kilos on there. Here comes Matthew Merrick. He's in the open kilo class and he's got 135 kilos on the bar. I think George needs a shepherd's crook at the moment. He's shepherding people all over the place, just trying to get them out of the way.
Like my rugby days, Joe. Do you know what I mean? Someone might just get tackled. Matthew Merrick, 135 kilos. It's a very
this is a very slow descent. Wonder if that speaks for a previous injury or that's just his style.
Well, either way, he's got the strength for it, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was no problem at all. Mark Cummings, he's also in the open class. 140 on the bar.
It was almost a negative rep, wasn't it, on the way down? It was.
Yeah, that would have exhausted me, taking the bar down like that. But works for him clearly.
I feel slightly tired just watching him do it, but either way, it worked for him. It's all good.
Okay, Mark Cummings, 140 on the bar.
Down it comes to the chest and straight through. Can't argue with that.
Of course, we've got a big gap in this class.
3 white lights and a good lift. 140 next weight on the bar for Mark Cummings.
Okay, we have Mark Cummings coming out next for 140 kilos. Of course, the big gap we've got in this class is Andy Rigby. We learned this week that Andy Rigby is retiring from active competition, so he's not here at this competition. Andy was probably one of our most successful lifters of the generation. He held British records in 3 age classes and 3 weight classes, European records in 2 weight classes and 2 age classes. He said this week on social media that he wasn't going to lift again. He's going to go out at the top as IPF European and IPF World Champion. But he's sorely missed at this competition. He had a very unusual signature style. The bar would absolutely plummet to his chest so that you thought he'd actually dropped it. And then he'd press it out strongly. So he's sorely missed here today. But anyway, we've got Josh Pollard on the platform. He's a junior 93 kilo lifter. And he's opening his account at 145.
It's a narrow grip, is it? Or is it just the way I'm looking?
It's not maximum, but it's not very narrow.
Okay.
I think it's the way his hands are sort of
Yeah.
folded in. But it was a good lift.
He's got the triceps for it. Drew Blackman, 147.5 kilos. Not a bad way to start your bench press, is it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Drew's in the M1s.
Bar loaded.
Drew also sporting the much coveted GBR singlet there. You cannot buy those. You're only awarded those if you lift internationally for your country.
Do we know how Drew got his, or I guess not off the top of our heads, we'd have to check, wouldn't we? Yeah.
I think he was in Calgary.
Fantastic.
I'm not absolutely certain, but I think he was in Calgary.
147.5 kilos. Down it comes to the chest, and absolutely.
Quite a positive thump on the chest.
Yeah.
But no problem pressing out.
Yeah, took that with purpose, didn't he?
Yeah.
Drew Blackman. Next weight on the bar, 155 kilos. Alexander Anderson. Charlie Hibbert and Wesley McGuinness to follow.
Alexander Anderson is now going to follow. Open male, 93 kilos, 155 kilos. Really not bad for the first bench press in the 93 category, is it, Joe?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but we're only about 2/3 of the way through the openers.
And slowly but surely the message is getting across and people are starting to kneel down when they get into Joe's eye line. So that's also the good.
I think I must be giving a Paddington stare.
There's only Only about 200 people left to tell, and then the whole room will understand. Anyway, Alexander Anderson shapes up to 155, down to the chest, and straight through.
Did he jump the press command? It looked to be a very quick press.
3 white lights and a good lift for Alexander Anderson at 155 kilos. Next weight on the bar, 157.5 kilos for Charlie Hibbert.
Okay, Charlie Hibbert's up next. He's in the juniors. He's not quite opening the heaviest in the juniors because we've got Luke Tolman in this class, who's clearly going to be opening the heaviest. I think. Let me just check the record sheet in the 93s. Anyway, got Charlie Hibbert on the platform at the moment. He's got 157.5 kilos on the bar. And he's choosing to bench without wrist wraps. But that was easy enough.
3 white lights and a good lift at 157.5 kilos for Charlie Hibbert. Wesley McGuinness next up with 160. Rack height is 8.
Good at times then to say shout out to the sponsors, Alico, SBD, we're Wired Up Media, we're here from British Powerlifting, we're absolutely delighted to be here as always. We're here for the rest of the year, live streaming whichever competitions we're told we need to, and we work quite hard on giving you a brand new score sheet that's new for British Powerlifting for this year. If you head up to the top of the page in the signature, you'll find a link, and in that page you'll find a score sheet which can be used to search for the performance that your lifter is doing today, or whoever it is you're particularly looking out for. Meanwhile, no need to search for Wesley McGuinness, who's right here on the platform, 160 kilos to his chest, straight back off into the rack, and the referees say 3 white lights, and that's about as good an opener as you could hope for.
Yeah, it was very nice indeed. We're going up to 170. Oh wait, yes. There was a brief misload, but the spotter caught it, so that's good. Lewis Jones is coming out for 170.
Bar loaded. 170 kilos.
Hopefully he's coming out at some point.
Yes, not quite sure what's happening here. Oh, nothing worse than just being slightly unready and then finding yourself having a rush, is there? In the interim, a gentleman sneaks out, crouching low, so he's not in Joe's eye line. It's appreciated all the way around. And another one, no, both, but then creeps up midway through. I don't know if Lewis Jones is coming, is he?
I'm not sure. I don't quite know what's happened here.
Unless
he's weighed in. He's put his opener in.
Yeah, it seems a long way to come, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not that
he's
Newport
not quite understood that he was due out.
Not that Newport Pagnell is not a beautiful place, but it's a long way to come if you're not actually going to go for the first. I mean, let's see what happens.
Okay, it looks like he's timed out.
Timed out.
5 seconds.
There's no point in him coming out at this point, is there? He's not got time to make a lift.
No lift.
So that was
for Lewis Jones at 170,
quite odd.
At 170, rack height is 9 for Joel Fraser, Sheridan Ray and Ashley Liston.
Interesting. Who knows? I mean, the amount of lifters we're seeing here today, I'd be surprised there aren't more mistakes. You know, it's.
To be honest, it's bedlam in the back. It's so tight in the little holding area.
Joel Fraser, 170 kilos.
Of course, this is a very impressive lift, and he's in the open class, but we've got world record holder Luke Tolman coming up.
It's all good. A little bit of a...
It was more work than I'd like, really. Oh, here's Big Shezza. Sheridan Ray, M1.
Those of you who are avid watchers of a stream will know Sheridan as the stern man who briefed me on all of the records Luke Richardson was about to break.
Who the stern man was?
Yes, that was the stern man. He was remarkably stern and very, very close to my ear, very, very quick.
Bar is loaded at
significantly gifted lifter, Sheridan.
Yeah, Sheridan's benched about 190 in the past in the 3 lift. So this shouldn't be any problem for him. Putting his mouth guard in there, just adjusting his belt, getting himself nice and settled. Sheridan is the classic bench team manager, so he's lifting and he's also scouting talent today. The World Classic bench is in Japan, it's in Tokyo this year in May.
pitch perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, nice and easy for Frazer.
And you see a lot of people bench throughout the day, and there's everyone is all very good, or else they wouldn't have made it here in the first place. But sometimes you see a lift and you think, God, there is nothing. I don't know what I would do with that. If someone put a gun to your head and say you have to find something wrong with that, you think, well, I can't. I don't see how to
absolutely.
Beautiful bit of lifting.
So we've got 185 on the bar now for Ashley Liston. This is a huge lift.
Yes,
so he's leading the way, although he's not our heaviest lifter in this group, he's leading the way in the open, because we've got a junior lifter who I can't quite see what he's opening at, if I'm honest, but I expect it to be a lot. That was nice and easy for Ashley.
Yeah, and this is of course where obviously look, proportional to body weight, absolutely everyone we've seen on that platform has been enormously strong, but suddenly when you start to get into the 3 plate territory, there's something about seeing that many plates hanging to the side of the bar, isn't there? Well,
here's Luke. He's coming out for 195 for his opener. He's got the world record at 212.5 off the top of my head. I think that's right. And this is also the open British record as well as the junior. So he's gonna put up the biggest bench in this weight class as a junior lifter.
Luke Tolman, and that's a fantastic setup. Just sort of brings himself above the bar.
I've the biggest bench of the
So
group, and I can't see it.
Don't worry, I'll take this one, Joe. I think there's a...
Well, I'd like to watch the big lifts, to be honest.
Sorry, Luke Tolman, straight up and straight through, absolutely beautiful. I'll have a quiet word now.
Okay, so that was a good lift for Luke, 195 opener.
That concludes the first round for the C group, and that takes us into round 2. First weight on the bar, 97.
And we're back to the top. We're back to a mob situation at the desk. So I can't see what you're seeing, unfortunately. But I think we're back to the top for the second round of benching.
Luke Tolman. Who's coming out here, Joe?
The score sheet isn't up to date, so I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's absolutely fine.
It's a man with 97.5 kilos on the bar,
and he's
having a bit of a struggle with it, to be honest.
And he's wobbled a bit at the top. I wonder if he's got it.
Don't know if
it was Mike Edwards. That's what it was.
To be honest.
Lewis Jones to the jury table.
No, he didn't.
He did lock it out. Although I saw a blue card. I don't think we're getting the right colour cards from these referees, unfortunately. So it's making it a bit hard to interpret their decisions. So we've got Harold Holdershaw coming out next in the M2s. I do apologise. I'm starting to sound a little bit irritated, possibly.
Do you want to take 5, Joe?
I'm all right.
You got it.
Right.
No,
yeah.
you're a trooper.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, of course it is. It is something of a special situation for us here today as we try and dick and dive around the lifters. And
I just got blown a kiss from Emma Goodwin. That'll see me through.
Well, there you are. You see, jobs are good.
Okay, so that's looked like a good lift to me, and the referees agree. So that's Harold Holdershaw in the M2s.
So, good times, they say, shout out to Elico, SBD, and British Powerlifting. We're Wired Up Media. We're delighted to be here today. Head up to the top of the stream, and you will find a link, and that link will show you to a live updated version of the score sheet, so you can tell exactly whoever your lifter is that you're rooting for, what they're doing, or just follow the competition from there. It's part of the improvements that we're making as part of the service we're offering to British Powerlifting this year.
And the man we've got on the platform at the moment is Jamie Green. He's a sub-junior. That means he's under 18, and he's got 105 kilos on the bar.
Down it comes to the chest. Up it goes off the chest.
Easy.
Yeah, there's no great complaint there at all, is there?
3 white lights and a good lift.
The other thing you can notice in the bottom right of your screen, you'll see what, if you play a lot of video games like myself, you realise is like a progress bar. what you're looking for is green across the progress bar. If you see green across the board, the lifter's got the lift. If you see red, it means the lifter missed the lift. It's designed for use in the free lift competitions, so it's only going to light up for the bench press today. But
okay,
nonetheless,
here's Clive. He didn't get his opener.
Yes, that was slightly off, wasn't it?
There was something very wrong, I think. He's a very experienced lifter. I wouldn't expect him to fail his opener normally. You said he was clutching his hamstring.
Yeah, as he came off, he winced and he made a grab for his hammy, and I think maybe that might be what it was.
All sorts went wrong with his opener. His head came up, his leg came up, his arm went.
Sensibly, he's retaken it, but his head's come up again.
It has.
And it's not gone, has it? No, something.
Do you know? I don't think he's going to get a lift in, unfortunately.
Yeah, he heads off the platform quite. Yeah, there's a little limp as he stepped off the platform there. I think he's done something to his leg, and that's
he's coming out again though. I just saw his Kelly Fraser's coaching him. I just saw say same again. So he's going to have another crack at it, which is game of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Work a bit of magic on the hamstring and see where they get. John
Reardon is M3. He's coming out for 125.
110 kilos for John thus far. Let's see where he goes from here. This will be a fifth. Hang on, wait, no, that can't be right. Did you 110? He's gone 125.
That's quite a jump, isn't it?
Do you know what, Joe? For a minute I was like, I've done my maths wrong again, but I've not, have I? That's a 15 kilo jump.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Well, he wants to get this then, or else that will look a little bit. Oh, well.
And he has. Who knows what he'll put on for his third? Maybe
exactly.
150. Who knows?
350 maybe. Do you know what I mean? Based on how that moved, he'll do whatever he likes. Jamie Avenal, 125 kilos.
No, he didn't get his opener. Do you remember what happened? I must admit, I can't quite place what went on.
Let me see if I can track that back when he comes back out. It was 117.5. It didn't happen.
And he's gone up.
Oh, well, it's a big statement when you do that.
It is. I mean, I've done it myself, but it's nerve-wracking. I failed my opening squat and then put a load of weight on it and come out for a second one. But it's not advisable.
No, I think he was held for a while and then. Oh well, okay, there he is.
Well, the man knows his business.
Yeah.
That was quite workaday.
So if I remember, I think he had a wobbly arm, didn't get the start command, had to hold it forever, and then it didn't work. So fair play to him for backing himself.
So we've got another sub-junior about to come out, Tim Simons.
120 was his opener, and he got it just fine.
127.5 kilos for Tim Simons.
So 7.5 kilo jump.
So if you've tuned in expecting to see the 105, 120, 120 plus lifters, which were due to start at 4:30, it'll be a little while yet. We're still working through the 93s. Now it's Tim Simons on the platform. It looked to be bouncing on the chest to me. But he's got 3 white lights, so you can't argue with that. So I'm looking at the clock and I'm looking at how many lifters we've got, and I'm thinking that maybe the bigger lads will be out at about 6, something like that.
That would be the hope. Yeah. Unless, of course, there's any sort of administration that needs to be done attempt selection-wise in the meanwhile. One would hope not, but 6, let's aim for 6, yeah.
I expect we're going to run straight on. So we've got Darren Stafford out again. I've just been obscured. I missed his first lift. I've just had his second one obscured. So he's just got someone placing his prosthetic leg. And his first lift looked very comfortable. And that was slow but sure. There was never any doubts.
Yes, absolutely. It's consistent movement if it wasn't fast movement.
And a good lift at 130 kilos from Darren Stafford, 132.5 kilos next weight on the bar for Jamar Alexander. Matthew Merritt.
So Jamar Alexander in the juniors coming out for 132.5.
Even as we track into the evening, slightly behind schedule, we find that the room is still full. People are still enthusiastic, people are keen.
It is. It's been a great atmosphere here today. I've rarely seen such a huge buzz in the hall. Has meant it's very crowded at times, but better than empty.
Yeah, fabulous atmosphere in here today. All testament to the growth of the sport. Jamar Alexander, 132.5 kilos, goes down to his chest, and now...
Now, I don't think the entirety of the bar dipped.
2 to 1.
2 to 1, that's enough. It dipped down on one side, but the rule is that the whole bar must dip in order to be given a red light.
into Josh Pollard to get ready.
Do you know, it's an odd rule. Sometimes
yeah,
you think
you're a
these
referee, aren't you? You're a referee.
I
Now,
am.
you see, I would struggle with that because I don't. If it drops on one side, surely the whole bar has moved. So where do you gauge that from the middle?
Not necessarily, because if one end just dips.
Yes,
it goes up.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So
I
as
made
long
a
as
hand
it's-
gesture which hasn't come up very well on the live stream.
No, I
but,
get it. If it stays static at the level, but then the other side keeps moving, and then the other side comes up to mix it.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But I think it's difficult to interpret as a side referee whether the whole bar has dipped. So
Absolutely.
it's a bit of a tricky one. But I often think in some of these rules, do you know what? The bar dipped slightly, but he pressed it out. You know, he's got the lift. I think some of the rules are a bit harsh at times.
135, 45 kilos.
145 this is.
Yeah, which is a 10 kilo jump from his opener, which was 135.
And this is the very, very slow descent. And it clearly works well for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, some of our rules about the bar dipping may be a little harsh, but if you've ever watched parabenching, their rules are extremely harsh. They must
really?
pause on the chest, but there's no press command.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is very
Wow.
difficult to referee. I've refereed a parabench comp. And also, there has to be absolutely perfectly even extension. If one
Goodness
arm
me.
goes up even an inch higher than the other, then it's a fail.
Wow.
That's really hard to get any lifts in at all.
Yeah, of
You
course.
watch the parabenching and it's a sea of red always. So here's Mark Cummings. He's in the Opens in the 93s.
150, a 10 kilo jump from 140.
That wasn't any problem for him.
I'm glad you saw that, Joe, because I'd actually only just finished bringing up his previous result. If you are interested, the information that Joe and I are referencing, the jumps between lifts, can be found by the link at the top of the page. Take you to a live score sheet, and from there you can search your lifter. Just one of the many little little features we're looking to add throughout this year for British powerlifting to help improve the experience. But a lot of feedback that we want to see the score sheet last year, and so we've added that. We're Wide Up Media, we're here on behalf of British Powerlifting. Big shout out to Alico, SBD, and of course British Powerlifting for having us here. We super appreciate it. Big shout out, of course, to Joe Wiley putting in a frankly incredibly generous shift on the commentary today. We don't know what we do without
I
it.
enjoy it. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be sat in the audience talking to someone about it, so I might as well be on the mic.
There you go. Josh Pollard, 152.5. 145. Yep. And 3 white lights.
3 white lights and a good lift at 152.5 kilos for Josh Pollard. 155 next way at the bar for Drew Blackman. Alexander Anderson. and
Drew
Charlie
Blackman,
Hibbert
155.
to follow.
Masters 1 male.
Loaded. 155 kilos, Drew Blackman.
Takes a second to clarify exactly what he wants from the handout. Open at 147.5, jumps to 155, 7.5 kilo jump. It's a big jump, but it's still sort of within normality. It's when we start to see the 10 kilo jumps that it starts to look a bit a little bit more different to what we're mostly seeing throughout the day, although obviously the lifters are getting heavier and the weight's getting heavier accordingly. Bar comes down to the chest. It's a GBR singlet, so it usually means it goes well, and indeed it does, back into the rack. And 3 white lights from the referees.
3 white lights and a good lift at 155 for Drew Blackman.
Excellent. Good work by Drew Blackman.
162.5 kilos next way at the bar for Alexander Anderson.
Alexander Avixon is coming up next. Let's have a little look at Alexander Avixon. So it's Alexander Anderson, forgive me. He started 155, he got that. And heads out to the platform now. Gets himself set. Andy, who is running this competition, has been handing out the bar all day, as have the spotters and the loaders have been going as well. Huge shout out to this crew here. They're incredibly dedicated. They're putting on a fabulous show and they're doing brilliant work. Alexander, it's slow but it's steady and he's got it done. Big shout out to him. That's all excellent work. 3 white lights, richly deserved. We're shaping up for Charlie Hibbert, 165 kilos. Let's have a look at what Charlie did before.
So I'm very grateful to whoever's plying me with caffeinated drinks, but that does mean that I've got to run to the bathroom a bit more than previously.
We're on Charlie Hibbert. He did 157 previously. He's jumped sensibly to 165, obviously at the higher end of sensibly, but still within the sensible parameters to my mind. Let's see how he gets on with it.
I think his opener was nice and comfortable. And his second set was nice and comfortable too. That's quite a big weight to be moving so easily at 165.
White lights and a good lift at 165 kilos for Charlie Hibbert.
Next up, we've got Wes McGuinness.
167.5 for Wesley McGuinness.
Loaded. 167.5 kilos.
Now, this could be interesting because he's placing fourth if Lewis Jones gets a lift in. But Lewis Jones missed his opener, so this could be an opportunity for Wes to move up to a podium position.
Lewis Jones didn't appear, did he? So let's see how Wesley
Oh, that's
gets
right,
on.
he didn't come out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. He got it. Well, see what the referees say.
Yeah, he got it, yeah.
But it was hard, wasn't it?
No, he's not got a lot left. If it turns out that Wesley... who are we expecting
Lewis
to come
Jones.
out? If it turns out Lewis Jones does appear, then I think, you know...
Well, he's got to appear and press 175 kilos, so that's
Yeah,
very big weight.
There's two main hurdles, isn't there? There's
Yes, actually, turning up is the first one.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Oh, so it's 170 that Lewis Jones may or may not come out for.
Lewis Jones.
No, it doesn't look like we have a Lewis Jones.
So I know there's an etiquette thing whereby if you aren't coming out for your lifts, you leave the gap to save time for the lift that's further downstream. But when you're quite far behind,
I don't think that would apply in this situation. It really applies in equipped lifting. You know, when
Yeah.
someone's wrapping your knees, you don't want to suddenly find that the person in front of you is not wrapping, not actually going out for it, and you've still got one knee to wrap. That would be terrible. But I'm not sure what's gone on here. Maybe his warm-up's gone badly and he's gone home. I really don't know. But it would have been polite to let us know so we didn't have to load the bar for him and all sit here waiting for him to time out. Okay, so we are going to move on to Joel Fraser. Joel Fraser is going to... He did 175 for his opener. He's going to do 177.5 for his next, so I don't think he's very confident.
uh, 177.5 for Joel Fraser.
177.5 kilos, Joel Fraser.
So he got his opener at 175, but it was a struggle.
Yes, it swims back into memory. Let's see if that was just a groove. As we know, that's not a reasonable excuse. But let's just see if that's a. Let's see if it just wasn't a technical cue that he missed or something. Spotters wait intently. Took a while to get the start. Yeah, I mean,
it's almost a vote of no confidence bringing out all your spotters when it's less than 200. The rule is that if the weight goes to 200, then you must have 5 spotters.
he looks happy he got that though. He looks like there's a sigh of relief that he got it. So maybe he's carrying something, or it's just not quite.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he just opened a little bit too high today.
Yes. Yeah. Either way, he's still got 2 greens on the board. So technically, it's all to play for on the third.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't imagine he wants to chuck on too much more off the back of it.
So here's Sheridan Ray. He's comfortably in the lead in the M1s.
Bar is loaded, 187.5 kilos.
And he is LR strength shed, is he not?
Shezza, yes he is.
Yes,
he is.
yeah. Stern man. We shall see how he gets on.
Sheridan's represented his country many times.
Chucks in his mouthpiece.
Both bench only and full power.
Certainly a strong lad. No two ways about it.
He is. He's. I think his 3-lift bench record is 190.5. Although that's from memory, I could be wrong.
Out it comes. Yeah, and this is if it's like his first, this will be quite beautiful. Yeah, again. Everything
he's got a
in
little
its
bit
right
more
place.
there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
not within reach of the single lift record. We hold different bench records for bench done in a 3 lift competition and bench done in a bench only competition. That's because it's considered harder to do your bench press when you've tired yourself out squatting first. So Sheridan holds the 3 lift, 190.5 record in the M1s, but the single lift record's held by Andy Rigby, who I spoke of earlier.
So, Ashley Liston, 192.5.
This is a massive lift for a 93 kilo lifter. Ashley is leading the opens.
He started on 185. That's 7.5 kilo jump. Everyone's standing by. You see the visible brace as he brings it down to his chest.
And that's a good press out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's got an awful lot more than that, but
yeah,
it wasn't in any doubt.
Looked more third than second, but at the same time, although I can squat that much, it's only just. So who am I to judge, right? Only just. In fact, Joe, didn't you not recently break your squat PR recently?
I squatted 200 in wraps, in knee wraps.
Very nice indeed.
I haven't quite passed my raw squat PB. I had a bit of a difficult summer, and I've just about got back to where I was this time last year.
Right, fair dues, fair dues. No, I've just seen a few PRs dropping on your Instagram feed. So.
Yeah. But bench has been flying as it goes, but not to this extent. We've got Luke Tolman here coming out for 205, which is still nowhere near his own British junior and open record.
10 kilo jump, so he's backing himself.
He's a confident boy. He will.
I feel like
unusual to wear knee sleeves on the bench. I find it. I can't get a proper arch. I can't get my legs down properly if I've got knee sleeves on. But he must feel that it gives him some benefit.
He's tremendously mobile for a strong lad, isn't he? He's got a great old arch going in there.
So here he comes, 205 as a 93 junior.
That is at 200 kilos. Down to the chest. Up and through,
no problem at all. That's very impressive.
Excellent.
Got to wonder what he's going to do for his third.
There you go. 200 kilos, and it's a bench-only competition. So where are we going from here? The only way's up, one suspects.
Well, his world record, and therefore his British record, is 212.5.
Exceptional. Exceptional. Big shout out to everyone watching on the stream. We're Wide Up Media. We're absolutely delighted to have you. If you could see your way to liking and subscribing, we would really appreciate it. All goes a long way towards showing British powerlifting the depth of strength and justifying us being here and being here in the future to do what we need to do.
Mike Edwards, his second lift was quite difficult. Let's see if he can push it up.
Yes, missed his second at 97.5, has sensibly come back for it. Was he saying something on the way down there, Joe?
I'm not sure.
His head's turned. He is allowed to turn, isn't it?
Yeah, his head can't come up. There's no problem with it turning.
There we go. He got it.
On a good lift for Mike Edwards. 105 kilos next weight on the bar for Harold Holdershaw.
Okay, so Mike got his lift. We've got Harold Holdershaw coming out next in the M2s.
102.5. So 12.5 kilo jump was between his first and his second to Harold. Speaks of confidence. Interesting to see where he goes from here. Uh, 105 kilos. 2.5 kilo jump from his last. Down it goes to his chest. Really engages his lats. And
it's a struggle, but he's pushing through. That's a very well judged third attempt.
Fabulous.
Not a kilo more would have gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we've got Clive Lingard. Now, Clive's had a lot of difficulty. He's not managed to get a lift in yet. It looks like there's something gone wrong.
Yeah, he's been catching his hamstrings as he comes off a lift, and his head lifts when he goes to make the press. And I think the thing is, the discomfort is one thing.
Come on, Clive, let's get one in. He's a very experienced lifter.
Yeah, something is not quite firing the way he would want it to, or firing too much. So let's just see if he can get this. The room is behind him as always. You know, the room always lifts when a lifter's in danger of bombing out, as we call it. You know.
Come on now, Clive. Let's
Go
get
on,
one
Clive, get it done.
in. And he's fighting it. He's going. Oh.
Oh.
I don't know if
Oh,
he's.
I don't know.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. And
no, what a shame. What a shame.
Well, if it went to a public vote, he'd have had it all day long. In fact, they'd have probably given him a world record with the empathy. But no,
that's such a shame.
Not gone that way today. Still, what a war though, eh? Because he's obviously carrying something. You know.
There's definitely some issue there, but it was such a brave attempt, but he didn't quite get it. What a shame.
So, Jamie Green.
He's one of our 2 sub-juniors in class.
1.5 kilos for Jamie Green.
Jamie Green.
Okay, sorry, I just zoned out a little bit there. I was trying to listen to the MC to work out what was going to go on if we were running straight on in the competition. I think that was a good lift for Jamie, but I think inevitably we're going to have a small break between this group and the next one, just in order to get the right information onto the right laptop.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just a lot of lifters to get through today, and obviously bench. It's only anecdotal, but bench is always the one that seems to me to take a bit longer than the others. Deadlifts, you sort of fly by, don't you?
Deadlifts fly by. I always think squats take a bit longer. It takes people
Yeah,
a lot
maybe,
longer
yeah.
to set up, and then bench goes a tiny bit quicker, and then you're flying by the time you get to deadlift.
Maybe we should change the last flight to deadlift.
Okay, we've got John Reardon, Masters 3 on the platform. He's got 130 kilos in his hands. Oh, and that's a struggle. I don't think that's going.
No, not quite.
Not quite today.
No lift at 130, unfortunately, for John. Leaves him with a best of 125. That is no lift. Next weight on the bar, 130 kilos for Jamie Avenal.
So, Jamie Avenal is coming out for 130.
Let's have a little look at what Jamie did previously in our interactive score sheet. You can get there from the top of the page. 125. Started with 117, didn't get it. 125 he did get. So 117 he just did something slightly funky with it, didn't he, Joe? I can't remember what, but he just did. I think he had a bit of a wobble on. It took him a while to get the start command.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm honest.
Down it comes to the chest. There's no wobble there. He got the start command in good time.
That was a lovely
Straight through.
press.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
Yeah, unless there's something we missed. And there isn't. 3 white lights. Excellent. Always nice to see someone ping it round. Bring it round, sorry.
Okay, we've got Darren Stafford. He's making light work of these benches so far.
Yeah, Darren, let's see how his day has gone.
He's got both his lifts in so far.
Yeah, 125, 130 was the sequence leading into this.
He's lifting in the M1s.
All loaded. 132.5 kilos for Darren Stafford.
Gets his belt set.
Darren runs a gym up in Stalybridge in the northwest. He runs a strongman and powerlifting team called the Wolfpack out of DJS Fitness in Stalybridge.
Fantastic. So this is 132.5 kilos. Room's behind him. Gets himself set, makes it all about his lats, and go on, lad. Go on, lad.
He's going. Oh, that's a good press. I think he's got that.
Yeah, I think that was fabulous as well.
Yeah, I think that was a great press.
Fabulous. Yeah,
He'll
absolutely.
be pleased with that.
Just pushed it right through, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. There's something about it. You watch it and then you think that's hard. But before you know it, it's done. You know.
And of course, what we don't appreciate is that that the prosthetic leg doesn't lock, or it wasn't locked in that position, so he can't drive through it.
Goodness
He's
me.
driving through his right leg, and it's very difficult to get an even press when you're doing that.
Stupendous work. Stupendous work. Tim.
So Tim is in first place. I think he's already won the sub-juniors, but he's going to have a go at 135.
120, 127 have been the jumps. 135, down it comes. His head is shaking, and oh dear, no.
No lift, unfortunately. Well caught, loaders.
Something happened there, didn't it? His head just started convulsing. I mean, just a bit heavy, do we think?
I think it was just too heavy. I think his he touched down. It didn't look quite right. And when you're close to your max, you've got to get it absolutely perfect for it to go. I've just seen Clive Lingard walk past. He doesn't seem to be badly injured, at least. He's walking quite well. So that's something.
We should give him 3 more. So it'll be only fair.
So we've got Jamar Alexander on the platform. He's in the juniors and he's looking for 135.
Here it is, 135. Down it comes. And up it goes.
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've not seen this lifter before. He's looking quite comfortable and accomplished under the bar. Looking very happy as he walks off as well.
As well he might. That, I believe, is a clean sheet for him today. Yeah, absolutely. All lifts in and accomplished. One moment, ladies and gents. I must go and convulse with my technical person.
Okay, we've got Matthew Merrick up next, 152.5. Matthew is in the open class. And lifting without wrist wraps. Always really stands out for me, because when you're moving a weight like that, I don't know, I get a lot of wrist pain if I don't have wrist wraps. And it just gives you an extra little bit of stability. But you know, it's absolutely not compulsory. It's a personal choice which bits of equipment you wear. The singlet is compulsory, but in bench press, singlet and t-shirt, and as long as you've got something on your feet, that's fine. And that was slow and steady, but a good press for Matthew. All his lifts look pretty much the same, to be honest. So we are halfway through the 3rd attempt of the 93 kilo class. We should have started with the big lads quite some time ago at 4:30, but we haven't quite got there yet. I think about another 10-15 minutes. So Mark Cummings on the platform. He's in the open class and he's going to take 157.5 for a ride. No, that's not going. It's the most common place to fail, straight off the chest. Josh Pollard. Josh is in the juniors. He's in 3rd place at the moment. I don't think there's any chance of him moving up. I think he's secured the bronze medal. And he's going to have a go at 160 kilos.
Well loaded, 160 kilos. Josh Pollard.
Here he goes. That's a lovely big arch he's got. Oh no. That was so close. I think 157 would have gone. Okay, Drew Blackman is in 2nd place in the M1s. He's also coming out for 160.
Drew Blackman, 160 kilos. Alexander Anderson and Charlie Hibbert to get ready.
Here he goes. Oh, it looked like he was going for a moment, but he just ground to a halt. Couldn't quite press that home.
No lift, unfortunately, 160 for Drew. 170 next weight on the bar. That is for Alexander Anderson, Charlie Hibbert and Wesley McGuinness.
Okay, next up, Alex Anderson in the open. He's sitting in 4th place, I think.
Bar is loaded, 170 kilos, Alexander Anderson.
I think this might move him up. I think this might move him up to a podium if he gets it. Don't hold me to it. I'm squinting at a distant score sheet and may or may not be right about this. Oh, it's good, you know, that was such a positive press off the chest. I really thought that was going to go, but he fought it to a standstill. Valiant attempt.
Not quite there today. No lift at 170 for Alexander. 170
Okay, Charlie Hibbert, who is making a very good account of himself in the junior category. It's a shame he's up against Luke Tolman, but you know what you're going to do. So he's coming out for 170. In most competitions, a 170 would definitely be a winner from a junior 93. But the standard of competition here today is just incredible. And that's a very nice press indeed, again without wrist wraps. So that's a silver medal for Charlie Hibbert. Okay, going up to 172.5 for Wes McGuinness. He is sitting in third place. Yep, he's already got the bronze medal. This might move him up to second, actually. Should have brought some opera glasses with me. I can't quite make it out. Nice positive instructions for the spotter there. Oh, it came off the chest well, but it's not going any further than that. Never mind, he's still got the bronze medal. So, 180 for Joel Fraser. This is a huge weight. So Joel is coming out. This would be a full plate bench in most gyms. Obviously we use 25s, not 20s, so it's a little bit different.
Massive shout out to Joe Wiley. I had to go and take care of something there. I had absolutely no choice. I had to leave it with the stream. Thank you so much, Joe. You are putting in a fabulous shift today. So thank you so much.
We're seeing some big weights being moved on the platform here.
180 kilos. Wow,
yeah,
Joel
huge,
Fraser. Goodness me. Yeah, let's see. Is it? And this is his third, isn't it?
It is. So we've got 3 or 4 more lifts in the 93s, and then I think we're going to need to have a break just to get the right information in the right spreadsheet.
Yeah, agreed. Let's just see. Oof.
No, wasn't going anywhere.
No.
Just having 180 in their hands, though, that's a big weight.
Yeah, big shout out to the spotters, big shout out to all the loaders, big shout out to everyone on that platform. God, it's been a long day and they're just on it, keeping people safe and helping the sport. Well, just making sure the sport can
for
happen.
Frazer. He's Sheridan Race coming out. He's a Masters 1. Now this is in excess of his British 3-lift bench record.
So I was just backstage and he was sat looking incredibly composed on the...
he's very calm.
Yeah,
he's a very calm man.
Had his headphones in.
Look at him saunter out there.
Indeed.
No stress at all.
It's himself set. Now his pressing up to now has been absolutely immaculate. So
I think this is a PB for Sheridan, though.
That's me.
You know, this is just off the top of my head, but I think this would be a... I know he's done 191.
LR Strength Shed is his facility, I believe. There's a bunch of champions that train there and a lot of very strong people. Now let's see what he does with 195 kilos. Everything up to now has been immaculate. Now when it comes to his chest, Up it goes. If it's going, it's gonna go.
It's a
Oh,
tough-
yes.
What a fight! That is. Has he got it?
2-1, he's got it.
1 will do. That
Fabulous.
is an absolutely awesome lift from
Fabulous.
Sheridan Ray.
And
He's
he
going to
looks
be happy
as
with
well,
that.
yeah.
I think that's a PB for him. I really do.
It's brilliant. Congratulations. And it comes about if you do it absolutely right when it's lighter, then when it does get heavy and you've got a war, you're in exactly the right place at exactly the right time to get the right result. Great work from Sheridan there. Big congratulations to him.
Bar is loaded, 200 kilos.
Okay, Ashley Liston. He's in first place in the Opens. He did 192, was it?
He
For
was
second?
185, 192.5, and now he's heading over there for the big 200. So I wonder whether or not. I don't know off the top of my head whether he's done this before. Do you know him?
I don't know him, to be honest.
Out it
More
comes.
familiar with the Masters and the Northern Lifters.
Took a long time to get that start command. I'm not sure with 200 in your hands.
No, that's
let's
not going.
take that.
Okay, so we now have a massive lift coming up. Luke Tolman is going to try to exceed his world record, his world junior record. So this is going to be 213 kilos. This will take the Open and Junior British records and an unofficial world record.
7 kilo jump.
International competition, so you can't take the world record.
205 to 213. That's right, isn't it, Joe? Sorry, my brain has gone to mush.
I think he did 205. I think that was his second.
Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah, he went 195, 205, and now he's going 213. Do the maths at home. Let me know in the comments. I can't see the comments.
I see what you mean. Sorry, it's 8 kilos. Yeah. 8 kilos.
Oh, God. Here comes Luke Tolman, 213 kilos. That they are. Bar's loaded now.
That won't throw him.
No,
He'll be fine.
He's a pretty cool customer, isn't he? Room's behind him. Everyone wants to see this. Again, he gets that wonderful mobility in play. Gets his shoulders ground down into the bench. It's a hush, as always, goes around the room when this much weight is going to be moved.
Come on, Luke. You've got this.
And it comes to the chest.
And he has got it. That is absolutely incredible.
Wow.
213 kilos by a junior 93 kilo lifter. That's awesome.
So he is under what? Under 21?
He's under 23.
Oh my God, so much good stuff to come from that young man. That's absolutely
a
fabulous.
huge boy for a junior, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And he does a lap round thanks to the referees.
Okay, I think there's going to be a very brief, maybe 10-minute break to get the next one going.
Just wait to find out. We're just going to update you on what's going to happen before we cut. Well, we won't cut, of course. We'll just go to holding screen, but we'll just wait to see what happens. You'll know when we know. Someone has turned on the house lights.
The temperature has dropped a little bit as well. This is it's been very hot, which is a problem for the lifters. You know, you can overheat a little bit and it can detract from performance. But as it's got dark, the temperature has dropped, and getting cold can equally be detriment to performance.
Okay, it's not something that we'll really communicate on the live stream, but obviously you change the temperature of the light, you sort of change our camera settings across the board, and both of my technical team have just made faces like someone's kicked them very hard in the bottoms. Anyway, though, I'm sure we'll correct that. Apologies if the screen's not quite looking how it should be. Joe, do we know what's going on with the break? Is there going to be a break? Or
There is going to be a break, but I think it's going to be a break where people are desperately plugging numbers into a score sheet.
Okay, so look,
I think it's going to be a break of indeterminate length.
So look, we'll be back with you as quick as we possibly can. We might put a timer on the screen, but don't go by that. The minute we can be back, we'll be back. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you very, very soon.